Shalom. We're in the Torah portion Pinchas or Phineas, as it's translated into English. Now, Pinchas is basically the opposite of Korach or Korah, and he was also related to the priesthood. So you see the corrupt priest, and now you see the righteous priest. And the whole story play off as a continuation of Balak, Parashat Balak, where Balaam gave Balak the insights into how to destroy Israel. Because Israel upheld their holiness, their dome of protection, and the enemy could not break through. So because he was a fallen one of the council of Elohim, he had insights into what will cause Yahweh's blessing, His covering, His iron dome be removed from Israel. Now, if you just reflect on that in your personal life, we always think, what does bad things happen to good people? What does Christians have to suffer? And all these things. Yeah, there's numerous reasons we already discussed. But one of the things that people forget is that holiness and righteousness is the barrier, the dome of protection to allow you to sit into the dwelling place under the wing of the Almighty. And that's where protection is, because no enemy will come near Yahweh, not even close. So if you sit under His shadow and hide under His wing, there's no chance that the enemy will come near you. Yahweh is too powerful. He's too holy. His holiness will consume them with fire. And that we see with the symbolism of Zechariah 14 as well, where the people tried to come against Yahweh's people and His holiness, His dome of protection. Their iron dome was activated, and it consumed His enemies. Beautiful pictures we find in Scripture to pull all these thoughts together and make them practical for us today. So our key motive, our main focus, specifically in times of uncertainty, things happening in the world, COVID, this, that, the other, we feel like we're moving towards the time of the end. There's turmoil, there's wars, rumors of wars, persecution. All these things are happening that we read about in Matthew 24. But don't forget what Matthew 25 is telling us. It reveals to us the 10 virgins, the 5 foolish ones and the 5 wise ones. Now the foolish ones are basically led by the spirit of Korach, the spirit of Dardal, that we looked at, the wisdom that comes from Egypt, the flesh or man-made wisdom, or you get the wisdom of Yahweh's Ruach, His spirit, which was manifested through King Solomon. And that is what Pinchas is all about. The 5 wise virgins will follow Pinchas, the 5 foolish virgins will follow Korach, and the black and white, the two opposites, will exist within this world of duality, regardless what entity you are in, whether you're in a natural world, whether you're in a spiritual context, within the body of Messiah, whatever context, there will always be the world of duality, the forces of duality at play. We saw that in the garden with the tree of knowledge, with good and evil, and we are going to look in this Torah portion specifically at the two words good, tov, and evil, ra, and we're going to see how they play out. Now, the scene we're going to play out within the two opposites in this world of duality, the spiritual world of duality that we can look at in the household of Yahweh, is the context of the covenant of peace, the covenant of shalom. Now, if you read this, the initial verse where it talks about Pinchas, it said that he received the covenant of peace that make him part of the eternal priesthood. And what he did was for the atonement of the household of Israel. So the shalom, the covenant of peace, is the basic idea of what we are trying to live by, be protected by. And what's interesting is that word shalom in the phrase covenant of peace, the Vav is broken in two. That's in the Torah scroll. So that immediately draw your attention to, there's a broken Vav. What does it mean? And there's brokenness inside the covenant of peace. Now, we saw the same symbolism when we looked at the tablets. There are broken tablets and there's perfect tablets. Now we have broken shalom and a perfect shalom. The perfect shalom is the one that is to come when Mashiach comes. We're currently in the state of broken shalom, the broken Vav, within the covenant of peace, with broken tablets, trying to do our best to follow Yahweh's word. But there's some cracks in the dome of our protection, and sometimes the enemy will seep through and we will cop the wrath of the enemy, and he will get to us through the little cracks that we allow in our dome of protection, trying to uphold the holiness as we interpret the foundation of the Torah, which is currently a broken foundation based on our understanding, misinterpretation, mistranslations, and all the translations, and the fact that we're not Hebrew and we live in a modern culture trying to understand ancient people culture, ancient people language, and Yahweh's culture and Yahweh's language. So a lot of challenges. That's why the Vav is broken. Now what's interesting is when you remove the Vav, so you have a perfect Vav, then one step back is a broken one step back to that is when you remove it, it's the word Shalem. And Shalem means to save, to protect, to restore, and to make complete. Now you might say, but if you remove the Vav, there's nothing. And Vav is number 6, it represents man. It's the brokenness of man. Now man is gone, so man is dead. Now it's perfect. Yes. We bring the imperfection into Yahweh's house. We are the ones with leprosy who bring that in. If you remove man, it's perfect. But what did Yeshua do? He removed himself in the place of man. He died to bring salvation, to bring restoration, and to make things complete. So that's the spiritual picture of the perfect shalom, the broken shalom, and the shalom or shalem without man. The death of Mashiach, which is also a picture of the death of you, the death of your fleshiness, your fleshly mentality, your human reasoning, trying to live your life based on the knowledge and wisdom of Darda, the wise man, wisest man of Egypt, of the flesh. So a lot of challenges there, beautiful Torah portion, a lot of insights. There's more to come. There's Gemaja of each one of those words that just explodes with more knowledge and insights. Can't wait to share that with you this Sabbath, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Shalom.